Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, it's two titles, so you can pick the one that you like. The first title is Trump will bomb Moscow and Beijing, or will Trump bomb Moscow and Beijing? Now the title should have been, I'll give you two titles again. Will Trump usher in World War III? Or Trump will usher in World War III? So I gave you four titles, so I'm going to pick one of them. So two in the form of a question, and the other two are in the form of a sentence or a statement. Now, this is the spirit, because this was put up. This is Kim Iverson, and she does live, she goes live on YouTube, and she goes live on Rumble. But what she does, she'll cut up part of it. She'll do like 10-minute, smaller videos, shorter videos, so to speak. This is 9 minutes. So I'm gonna show you what ironic is. About 15 minutes before coming to this video, I was in the chat, and I put some different words in: Trump, World War III, blah blah blah. And I believe I want to know I did. I misspelled usher in, but it gave me the information that I was looking for. And it did say that in 2024 he did threaten to bomb both Moscow and Beijing. Anyway, so that was the spirit. Because I spelled the word usher. Okay, so this is it right here. Will Trump World War III? Let me put in the word usher if I didn't lose it. Bear with me for a minute. Sorry for that. Let me do it this way. Okay, so that's it right there. Matter of fact, let me do it this way. Copy. Will Trump usher in World War III? Okay, I worded it a little different, and what came up was there was a leak meeting that he had where he mentioned he's going to bomb Russia and Beijing. So I'm gonna leave it here. Let me come back to. So here is the link right here. And so what I did was I slowed it down. I put subtitles, and I slowed it down to 0.75. And this is fair use, fair use, fair use. Believe me, either. Here's the leaked audio. That's her speaking. So it's a little muffled, but you can read the subtitles.
Oh.
The Putin said, if you go in to Ukraine, they'll bomb the shit out of Moscow. I'm telling you, I haven't chose Republicans. Republic. So he goes like, I don't believe you. He said no way, and I said way. And then he goes like, I don't believe you, but the truth is you believe me 10%. And I started to do this, you believe me 10%. Well, my president-in-chief trying to
Bring it
I
back.
said way. And then he goes like,
So he's claiming that he's told us to
I
Putin.
don't believe you. I have no choice but if you go in.
Here's the leaked audio.
Putin said, if you go in to Ukraine, we're going to bomb the shit out of Moscow.
Now, it was earlier today where, or was it yesterday? He had a sit down when they asked him about the Epstein case. And he said, why we got to bring up Epstein? Because the walls are closing in on him and others. But he did say yesterday's meeting, press conference, whatever you want to call it, he did say that he's going to start sending weaponry to Ukraine. So he's remember he had the meeting with Zelensky. He said, no, we ain't going to do that. We ain't going to give you no more money. We ain't going to give you no more missiles because you're gambling with World War III. So here yesterday, he said, yeah, he made it straight to the point. We're going to start sending weapons. So he's going to keep that war going. Because Russia is at the point of totally knocking Ukraine at the box, so to speak. And Ukraine is just about ready to surrender. So according to what Trump said, he wants to keep that war going. Says anti-war Trump threatens to bomb Moscow and Beijing. So let's listen to it here. It's muffled, but you can read the subtitles there.
I'm telling you, I have no choice but the public. So he goes like, I don't believe you. He said no way, and I said way. And then he goes like, I don't believe you, but the truth is you believe me 10%. And I started to do this.
So you can bring it back and watch it again. The main point, I don't want y'all to do this again. Let me do this one more time. And we're going to read the closed captions. It says, then Putin said, if you go in, talking about Ukraine.
Ukraine is going to bomb the shit out of Moscow. I'm telling you.
And he said he's going to bomb the shit out of Moscow. So this was said in 2000, a year ago. So now, we're going to listen to the rest of this. Give me a second here. Let me come over here. But the way I worded it, it did mention that there was a leak audio of him saying the exact thing that I showed you. So we don't need that anymore. Will Trump usher in World War III? Or Trump will usher in World War III? It's a serious and complex question. Let's break it down carefully. There is no way to predict a certain blah, 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 blah. Donald Trump would start a third trigger war. Of course he would. He's got a big mouth. He speaks without thinking. His mouth is faster than his brain. Why some fear Trump's return can increase global tensions, and that is exactly day one. We're in 6 months of his administration. And he's got the world tense. Unpredictable foreign policy, and he started that with the tariffs. During his presidency, 2017 to 2021, Trump was known for unconventional and often confrontational approaches, and he's very aggressive. Inside joke. Confrontational, like threats toward North Korea, trade wars with China, and withdrawing from international agreements. Example given, the Iran nuclear deal. Strained alliances. Trump was openly critical of NATO, and ultimately the NATO nations will shoot missiles on Babylon the Great. And other, I sound like a broken record, but hey, and other traditional U.S. alliances, raising fears that reduced international cooperation could embolden adversaries. NATO will be emboldened on that day, pursuant to Revelation 17, started verse 12 on down. Authoritarian alignment. He has praised or maintained warm relations with strongmen like Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un, which critics argue could weaken deterrence or embolden aggression. Why others think war is unlikely. Now, no. They think it is unlikely, it's likely, especially with this guy. If any president's going to usher in World War III, is this president right here, the king of Babylon, the cruel lord. Desire to avoid war. Trump avoided large-scale military intervention. He said he's putting more money in the military. During his term, which was 45, he was reluctant to engage in prolonged foreign wars, contrasting with previous administrations. American First doctrine, his foreign policy emphasized disengagement rather than expansion. This can arguably lead to less U.S. involvement overseas, reducing chances of escalation. But that's not going to happen. Checks and balances. Even if Trump returned to power, so this is information before he became President 2.0. U.S. foreign policy is shaped by Congress, the military. Oh, he's bypassing. He's not dealing with Congress and the Supreme Court. He's doing his own thing. And international actors, not the president alone. What would really cause a world war? It would likely take a major conflict between nuclear powers, that's Russia and America, then there's others, China, I believe India, some of the Arab nations, France and Great Britain, they have ICBM missiles. Significant miscalculations or cascading alliances responding to regional wars. Regional wars wind up becoming world wars. You have a war between two countries. You have what's called proxy war, where another nation gets involved, and then another nation, then it becomes a world war. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And this is going to be the war to end all wars. While leadership matters greatly, many global factors like resource competition, cyber warfare, and geopolitical instability are also at play. If you're worried about the global situation or the 2024 U.S. elections, we don't need this. Now let me do this. Let me do this. Bear me for a minute, y'all. Okay, Trump and World War III. Could you clarify your question a bit? Are you asking whether Donald Trump has ever started or come close to starting World War III? If there are concerns about Trump starting World War III, if reelected, or are you asking about conspiracy theories or predictions involving Trump and World War III? Here's a brief review of each angle. Okay. 1. Did Trump start or nearly start World War III during his presidency? No. World War III did not happen this is his first term. However, some events led to fears of serious global conflict. I believe that he's going to bring on this war, especially if the Mossad comes inside of the next 4 years. We're in 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Next 4 or 5 years. So he'll be here until the end of 30. Actually, yeah, the end of, let me see something. 25, 26, 27, until 29. He'll be out of here. January 20th of 2029. So we're talking like 4 years and change. Killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. Remember that? And the people of Iran was mad as hell. They loved this particular general. Then the sneak attack. Israel shot missiles on Iran. Iran retaliated. Trump didn't say too much. Then he said something. Then he went ahead and shot missiles, or the U.S. And Iran shot back, and they kind of stopped. They had a ceasefire. So, he shoots these missiles, and he realizes that this could turn into a World War III. Has anybody told him that Russia and Iran are allies? This U.S. See, while you got all these people talking about you Israelites shouldn't be teaching on the street, and you Israelites, y'all about pride, and it's race before grace. You guys this is why we do not argue with Christians. We do not argue with Muslims, Christians, Moors, Kemet. We don't argue with none of them. We lecture. We tell you what you got to do. We don't want you to ask a question so we can try to stump us. Because none of these clowns are talking about the imminent destruction of this world. And Trump is the man to do it. So none of these Kemetic people, Moors, any of them, Islam, Christians, none of them is talking about the microchip. As a matter of fact, the majority of the Israelite groups out there, the camps, they're not talking about it because they don't believe it. The chip's going to come first before the nuclear destruction. As a North Korean tensions, 2017 to 2018, Trump and Kim Jong-un exchanged nuclear threats, raising fears of nuclear war. China in trade war. One of the first things he did was, it was really a 245% tariff on China. Then it came down to 3 weeks later, came down to 145. I mean, that's crazy. There were growing tensions with China, but not military conflict. Well, it's a Cold War. Cold Wars normally eventually turn into hot wars, which is an actual war where people die by gunfire, missiles. Despite the rhetoric, none of these escalated into a global war, because the Most High is the Most High. It's going to happen in the Most High's time, not Trump's time, not our time. 2, are there fears Trump might cause World War III if reelected? So this is information before he became. So this is old information, by the way. Some critics argue that Trump's America First foreign policy, withdrawal from global alliances, and the unpredictable leadership style. You don't know where he's going to go. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Unpredictable leadership style, which that's not a good leader. Could this stabilize global relations, and global relations are destabilized. Concerns often focus on NATO skepticism, and remember he cursed out NATO, and it was JD Vance that went over there and cursed him out. In Europe, Trump has questioned the value of NATO. Yeah, there shouldn't be no NATO. Well, NATO's in effect because of Bible prophecy, which is known as the beast, which is a cornerstone of Western military alliance. Russia, critics worry Trump may embolden Putin, get Putin mad, or undercut Western support for Ukraine. Now, he just said yesterday, as I've said, that he's going to start sending weapons to the Ukraine. And you know what I found out? Most of the great leaders of so-called the state of Israel are either Ukrainian or Polish. Ukraine and Polish are next door neighbors. Polish, I believe, is south of Ukraine. Authoritarian alignment. Trump has spoken favorably about leaders like Kim Jong-un and Putin. Yes, sometimes they're friends, sometimes they're not. Supporters argue that Trump avoided new wars, focused on diplomacy, and that's not in his bones. E.g., example given, North Korea summits, and pressured allies to contribute more to defense. Remember what he said about Canada, right? So Canada is hot right now. 3, conspiracy theories or viral predictions about Trump and World War III. Some fringe theories or internet predictions claim Trump will play a role in either starting or preventing world. He's going to start it, in my estimation. If he's president for the rest of the term, and the Most High comes within the next 4 years, he'll be, and he's still alive, he will be the president to usher in the chip in World War III. So like I said, you got all these different groups talking about whether Christ is black, whether he's white, whether he's 3 in 1, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, or the Lord came for the Gentiles. None of it, like I said, like I've been saying, none of these Christians are going into, they don't know prophecy, period. They cannot deal with us, and I want to say the F word, they cannot deal with us when it comes to these prophecies. The scholars cannot deal with us when it comes to these prophecies. I said Trump will play a role in either starting, forget about preventing, he's not going to prevent a damn thing, starting WW3. These often circulate in online echo chambers and aren't supported by credible evidence. Yeah, but you know what? Credible evidence is when you go to these news stations, a lot of people are getting their real news from alternative media on YouTube and Rumble and Odyssey. Let me know if you want a deeper dive. I don't need a deeper dive. And we all know the scriptures. Revelation chapter 6. The pale horse, the gray horse. That's when the destruction comes. The heavens shall roll together as a scroll, like a scroll. Isaiah 34, heaven shall roll together like a scroll. Daniel 7, 9 on down, missiles. Daniel 2. Isaiah 14, the latter verses. When you go around to about the 20th verse on down, speaks about destruction. Isaiah 13, chapter 13. Jeremiah 49, 50 and 51. How can I forget? I'd be remiss if I forget to mention Zechariah 14 and 12. The first time I heard that was a nuclear destruction, missiles being shot, was from the movie The Late Great Planet Earth, produced by Hal Lindsey. And he focuses heavy on prophecies. Now, I was a kid. I was a teenager. And when I heard him say that, Zechariah, I remember the verse, Zechariah chapter, book, chapter, and verse, as a youngster, as a teenager, because I was always into the scriptures. So me and a friend of mine, we were always into the scriptures. And we said, when that movie came out, we said, we got to go see that. And we saw it in the theater. And when he made that statement, I said, that shit makes all the sense in the world. And the second time I heard it, so I already knew about it, is from the 7. So anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom on to the next shalom.